Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Chat. We've been here every Tuesday at 12:30, and we've been having a really, really good time. I'm so excited that you have joined us today for a very unique conversation that we are going to have today about how COVID has affected our international councils. We have some amazing leaders on that are going to be on today in a conversation with our presider, Bishop Theodore L. Brooks, and they're going to have a conversation about how COVID has affected us internationally in our councils. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Evangelist Nietzsche. I'm the Marketing and Publications Director for the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World. So before we get started, you know how we do. Be sure to drop a comment. We're looking at the comments right now, and we'll start to put some of your comments on the screen right now. So drop a comment in the comment section with your city and state. You can rep your council. You can shout out your bishop. Let us know that you are watching. We see you coming in the comments and we see the numbers coming up. So drop a comment below. Before we get started, I want to share a couple things with you guys. In our live video, my inbox was flooded with people who wanted the shirt that I had on. And you guys know that we had the Apostolic Word shirt, which is the one that I have on right now. We had the prayer, the 1,000 people praying shirts, and then Bishop Brooks had one on in a video this week earlier. And so I'm here to give you some good news. You will be able to order those t-shirts by the end of this week. It will be a limited supply, so you will definitely want to jump on as soon as that information is released. In order for you to know, in order for you to know when that information is released, you'll want to be connected to our newsletter, which will be in the description of this video and also in the comments. So the t-shirts, we heard you, okay? We heard you and we are listening, and the t-shirts are going to be available very, very soon within the next couple of days. All right, so the next thing I want to do before we bring on Bishop Brooks and our guest is I want to just give you a couple things that are happening with as it relates to ordering some of your materials. Let's go ahead and bring the PAW eStore website up on our screen. There are three things that I'm encouraging you to go ahead and navigate through and take a look at and place your orders for today. Number one is your Sunday school materials. Your Sunday school materials will begin shipping at the top of May. They will begin shipping at the top of May. So if you already received Sunday school materials and your order, nothing is changing, your order will be shipped and you will receive it just as you normally do. If there are any changes to your order, to your Sunday school order, you'll want to be sure to give the PAW headquarters a call by tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. By tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're putting all the orders together and everything is going to be situated. So tomorrow by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when you will want to make sure that you communicate any changes to your Sunday school order. The second thing is the 2020 commentary. That's available for pre-order right now. Yeah, and it's pretty awesome. It's pretty amazing, and I'm really excited about the 2020 commentary is available. You can pre-order it. This is the website here. It's pawinc.org/eStore. What you see with the brown image there is the 2020 commentary. You'll just go to the eStore, click on that, and it's a pre-order, and all the shipping information about when it's going to be shipped will be available to you. The other thing that is available on the PAW eStore website right now, as we scroll back up to the top, is the May-June issue of the Christian Outlook. Yeah, some pretty amazing stories in there, an amazing testimony from Bishop Gators. We've also got some tech talk, some really cool things that I think you're going to really be blessed by in this issue. You guys completely blew us away with the amount of record-breaking numbers and orders that we received for the March-April issue. And so we're looking forward to serving you with this May-June issue. So the May-June issue of the Christian Outlook, the 2020 commentary. You can also order Sunday school materials through the eStore. You can also order Sunday school materials. So we've seen orders coming in for those in the coming days. You can also do that. You can also call the PAW headquarters, and we'll put that phone number up and the link to this in the box. All right, you guys are on. Enough about that. I see that people are watching from all over the place. You guys come in every single time we go live, and it's just amazing. And you're watching from everywhere. I see people from Indianapolis, from South Bend, Indiana. I see people from Kentucky, from Atlanta, Georgia. You are watching from everywhere. Hit the share button, hit the like button, hit the share button again, and then hit the share button one more time. Share this video with everyone that you know and let them know that right now, you know what's getting ready to happen? our presider, Bishop Theodore L. Brooks, is coming on camera to address us today. And you guys, I want you to show him some love by dropping hearts in the comments, dropping a comment down there, by saying something awesome about our presider. Let him know that you love him. Let him know that you love him. And it's going to be an amazing conversation. Bishop Theodore L. Brooks, how are you today?
I'm doing well, doing very well, Evangelist. I can't complain. God is good. God is great. Matter of fact, He is marvelous and wonderful. In spite of us going in this thing called the pandemic, COVID-19, yet God is still ruling, and I'm so happy and honored just to be able to be a servant to God's people. Thank you and the staff for your continual efforts to make sure that we get information out to the people. It is a blessing. Who would have known that we would have been in such a time as this?
Yeah.
But we're here for the kingdom for such a time as this. And I want to just reiterate what you said to everybody. Order your Sunday school material by tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Make sure you do that. The 2020 commentary will be out. We need you to pre-order. We're just not going to print up a bunch of copies. We're going to pre-order those. Get a copy of the 2020 commentary. And then the May, June Christian Outlook. I had a opportunity to go through that, and I'm telling you, it is outstanding. It is outstanding. There's articles in there. I went through it and I just marveled. I said, wow, look where the Lord has brought us from. It's just, you've done a great job. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Look forward to even greater things coming down the pike for the Pentecostal assemblies of the world. Well, today, I got two special guests that are with me today. Want to continue on with bringing on some of the leaders from the Pentecostal assemblies of the world. Got some things coming up next week that we want to deal with. One, we're going to try to give you some answers to the questions you've been asking about your registration for the convention. What do you need to do? How do you need to do? There's a litany of questions that you got. So we're going to bring on two individuals, Bishop Mark Talbert and something Bishop Robert Martin. Bishop Mark Talbot is first assistant, who is over all of that programming. Something Bishop Martin is the program director. So I'm going to bring them two on and have you have a conversation with them too about some of the questions that you have in mind. You've been sending it in. We want you to continually send it in. We're going to see if we can answer it. Second thing we're going to try to do next week is to have on some of our mental health professionals. They're developing some things. This is a difficult time, and we need to be able to face some things, deal with some things, deal with some issues as they come forth. So I'm going to bring them on, several of them, to be able to share with us and talk with us. And then the third thing that I want to do is to bring on one of the bishops who's developing now a strategy for me on opening up our churches. We know that that's going to happen. There's going to be guidelines and be directives. The CDC has put out a 34-page guideline directive, and we're using that as a playbook to try to figure out how and what we do, because I want you all to be safe. I want you all to be able to be safe and not just open up just to get out here to have church and then people get sick again. So I want you to keep that in mind. Well, let me get right to my guests. I'll bring them on. I am honored today and happy to have the Honorable Bishop from the Eastern Cape Town in Port Elizabeth in South Africa, the Honorable Bishop Gwendolyn Weeks. Can we bring Bishop Weeks up for us? Amen. Is she on?
Bishop Weeks is having a couple technical difficulties, and as soon as we get it, we'll bring her into the screen.
All righty. Well, and that means that we got the man from Savannah, who is over the Northern Philippine District Council, the Honorable Bishop Rodges, a former Assistant General Secretary, who is doing a fabulous job over there in the Philippines, and we're appreciative of what he's done. Bishop, glad to have you with us. Say praise the Lord to everybody.
Praise the Lord, everybody, and good afternoon, and depends on where you are. Good morning and good evening. I'm certainly honored to be a part of this meeting with our Sister Nietzsche and our presider, who is doing an excellent job. We are so excited about the fact that this is the man that God has chosen to be our leader at such a time as this. And certainly this is the time where we need good leadership, wonderful, excellent leadership, and he is doing an excellent job. And sir, I am quite happy to be a part of what you're doing. If I could say one other thing,
Yes,
I
sir.
want to say that God led you well this year when you started off this year with prayer.
Thank
And that was an amazing spiritual insight that God knew that this year we needed to meet with him before
you.
we met this year. And meeting with him and meeting and calling the organization to prayer in Birmingham and having some of the wonderful leaders to join you in prayer and to be praying so strongly as you were doing. It was just a wonderful thing. I didn't make it. I was there in spirit, but I was so happy about it. And as soon as we got in this pandemic and began to really see the weight of it, I know that prayer went before us, before this
Yes.
thing happened. It was like Jesus saying to Peter, I prayed that your faith will fail not. And that's why our faith is not failing, is because the prayer was prayed before we got to this time.
Well, I thank you, my brother, tremendously for that. Nobody but God, because I had no idea this pandemic was coming, and I'm just grateful. I'm extremely grateful for what God has allowed me to do, and the support of yourself and the board of bishops has just been phenomenal, and will continue to move forward. But
Yes.
help us, give us a little understanding of the northern Philippines and what they are enduring. And I know you have poured a tremendous amount of monies over there, support and help. I know you've been over there several times a year, and you brought others with you. And I've seen some of the pictures of just the gatherings. Share with us a little bit about the northern Philippines, because most of us don't know that we have dioceses all over, and they're active and they're doing some things. Help us out, Bishop.
Yes, sir. It is a phenomenal group of people. Pastor Chairman Haran, who is our chairman, and he is doing a fantastic job, Bishop. He is. We've been growing and continuing to grow. People are showing, pastors are showing interest in it, and they're coming to be a part of it because of the success that we have been having there. We've had it, the last one we had in a hotel, last few we had in a hotel, but last year, we were so packed that we recognized that we're gonna have to find another place, another
Wow.
venue, because it has grown tremendously. And it is some of the most beautiful people in the world over in the Philippines. They love God. They love to worship God, and they are one of the places that we have to help. We have to fund them, but it's not a grief. It's not a grief to fund people who are really excited about the work of the Lord.
How has the pandemic, the COVID-19, I see some pictures coming up. Tell us about how that they're enduring and going through this COVID-19.
Yes, sir. Some of the pictures are showing some of the. We just recently sent some funds over to help them in this crisis. It's been pretty bad because they haven't been able to go to churches. And just to give you some of the things that they have, 700 about 790 some deaths, and they have 7,000 something cases. And it's not as bad as I thought the cases would be, because their president had them to shelter in. They had about 930 some recoveries, and they've had at least 511 deaths.
Mm.
And the MPDC churches are not able to have any services, so they're preaching in their homes online. And some of the members are able to see them, but some of the members cannot afford internet. And those who cannot afford internet they are suffering every Sunday, and their midweek services. And they can only watch it in their homes now. And even the financial part of it, some of the members are suffering because of their daily needs for living, and the works that the offices, their businesses, and the places where they work are closed, and they're not able to get to work. And some of the employers have notified them that some of the people that companies may even be closed to up to the month of October.
What?
And yes, sir. And they may even be extended until December the 2020. So some of the people are really having to go outside of their homes and to seek remedies for their daily needs. So and
My
this
Lord.
is probably just even increasing the crisis over there. Um, um, it was a possibility that the way things were going, that they didn't know whether they would even have to deal with martial law. But at this present time, that's not the case. So I want anybody to say that. That's what we're saying. But I actually believe that their president is kind of handling that the best way he can. And I think that sheltering is probably one of the best things. You can watch some online. Matter of fact, I get a chance to see some of the pastors online myself, and see their services. So it's very difficult for them. And think about the fact that a lot of the some of the pictures, and I didn't give a lot of the other pictures, but some of the other pictures you'll see that they show envelope, and then they show bags. So when we send them the money, the resources over, they were able to buy bags of rice. And that's one of the things they do for the poor people there. They go and buy big bags of rice, and they give them rice. As a matter of fact, actually, we sent them some money for Christmas as well. And when they send us pictures, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. There's nothing different than what they just sent me before. They go and they give a check or something to the members, where they can go and get something for themselves to the stores, and rice. And rice is a hot commodity, evidently, that it feeds a lot of the families, and that seemed to be one of the going things that they give to their members a lot.
You know, we don't know how blessed we are. I understand we got Bishop Gwendolyn Weeks back with us again. Bishop Weeks, where art thou? There
Praise
you
the
are.
Lord, Bishop.
Praise the Lord. Sis, how are you?
I'm doing super, sir. God bless you.
God
God
bless
bless you,
you.
Bishop Rodges.
Bless you,
Good
my
to have you with
friend.
us. He was telling us a
Thank
little
you.
bit about the Philippines and the difficulties that they have, and how while they have not had a large infection rate over there, but yet any death is still substantial. Help us out. You're with the Eastern Cape town, Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Help us to understand some things.
All right. First of all, let me just honor my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. To you, presiding Bishop Brooks, I honor you, and the first presiding bishop, Bishop Talbert, and the second is presiding bishop, my diocesan Bishop Michael Hanna. I thank you for this opportunity to share. And I've been spending the last week and a half just talking with my pastors, and I want to honor them. First of all, the Honorable Pastor Apostle Sergio Williams, Pastor Jason Williams, and Pastor Peter Winston Carolus. They have been giving me information morning, noon, and night. So, Bishop, I just like to start with a little bit of information, just so that the brothers and sisters who are watching can just get a feel of where we are sharing.
Yes.
South Africa is made up of 9 provinces, and where God has allowed and the PAW placed me to serve is in the Eastern Cape province, with our headquarters in the city of Port Elizabeth. also known to many as the Friendly City or the Windy City, as it borders the Indian Ocean. The Eastern Cape province, out of the 9 provinces, we would call them states, is the poorest. And though Port Elizabeth is considered as its economical hub, the economical hub of the Eastern Cape, unfortunately, where our headquarters, Port Elizabeth, is located, it's plagued even before this pandemic, plagued by poverty, unemployment. And unfortunately, again, before the pandemic, gangsterism, alcoholism, and drug wars were always there and on the rise. And so with the pandemic, because on March the 27th, Port Elizabeth, along with the rest of South Africa, went in complete lockdown. Nobody could leave their yards, pretty much. The yard was the extent of where you could go. And if you were outside of your yard, you could be arrested. And so the lockdown forbids citizens from leaving their homes except to seek medicine or medical care, buy food or other essentials. Most people were not allowed to go to work. But last week, the president made an address on last week, Thursday, and now strategically, he has put them in 6 stages of releasing and lifting these restrictions. But a direct result of the lockdown is that there has been major looting of the various shops, looting of the grocery trucks, breaking into schools to steal equipment, computers, printers, or whatever they can lay their hands on to sell, because everybody needs money for food. And so our pastors, our churches, their communities, they're not unlike here in the United States, where we have food banks, where our president has released relief checks and people to help. They are there. Our pastors, they have no income. Their members, no income. Their communities. But what God has blessed, so as I was listening to Bishop Rodges and hearing how they're sowing seed, as God has blessed and seed has been sent to them and others helping them on the ground, our pastors are feeding their communities and their churches at least 5 of the 7 days a week. 5 to 6 days, they are providing a couple of pieces of bread, a bowl of soup, a bowl of beans, and sometimes they might have some kind of juice. But where we are in the Eastern Cape has really been hit very hard, added upon what was already happening there, Bishop.
Let me go back for a moment. You said a cup of soup, a piece of bread.
That is correct.
And
that is correct. So the people would know that Apostle Sergio or Pastor Jason or Pastor Peter is having food. They would line up. They would bring their own bowl. They would bring their own cup. And they would get 2 pieces of bread and a bowl of soup or a bowl of beans. And for a lot of the community, Bishop, this might be their only meal that day.
Now, how has coronavirus 19 been prevalent there, or what's the story with that?
Yes, we were looking at the stats today, and South Africa has been the most affected country in all of the countries in Africa. And so in the Eastern Cape, in Port Elizabeth, now this blew my mind, Bishop, they only have 3 testing sites.
Okay.
3. testing sites.
Port Elizabeth.
And so the people, one public and two private testing sites in Port Elizabeth. And so they're way behind in testing. They're way behind in stats. So far, they've only tested in the Eastern Cape 9,000 plus people. They've had 10 or more deaths, and over close to 600 people have tested positive and this is just the Eastern Cape. I'm sure when you have on Bishop Jackson and Bishop Grayson and Bishop Isaac and Bishop Zondo, they'll be better able to tell you about their provinces. But here in the Eastern Cape, this is the information that I've received from the pastors there.
Okay, how many people in Port Elizabeth, approximately?
Now, the pastors are on, so hopefully they'll click on. But I know easily, when I was looking at the numbers today, easily 1 million people.
Wow. So,
and I might be off, so hopefully if you see a message from one of them, they'll be better able to tell you.
So you got pastors over there feeding them with soup. Bishop Rodges, your pastors are feeding them with rice.
Yes, sir.
Just rice? Rice?
Well, rice,
I mean, I like rice, but
well, I imagine that they may be doing a little bit better in that probably than what Bishop Weeks is saying, but it's pretty dire. It's pretty dire, and I think the numbers that I gave you were the numbers in Manila. In Manila, so that's not the whole Philippine Islands. Okay.
All right. One of the things people want to give, you can send money into the PAW headquarters marked for either one of these dioceses, and help can be there to be able to help them. We know that a lot of people in the States are hurting, going through a lot of things, but we also got to reach out and help, and to have a committee that's putting together a plan now to be able to help out in our international fields during this pandemic area. Let me ask you both the question. And Massachusetts, I'm going to do two questions, one to you, Bishop Weeks, and then one to you, Bishop Rodges. You can follow suit. In Massachusetts, it has the third highest number of cases of the pandemic virus in the country. How are you all dealing with that? And for you, Bishop Rodges, your governor decided that he wanted to be uno number one and open up the country, or open up the state of Georgia for more folk to get sick. Help him, Jesus. Help him, Lord. You can address that in a minute. But Bishop Weeks.
Yes, sir.
The highest rate of the third highest rate of COVID patients in the country. How are you all dealing with that in the greater Boston area where you're from?
Wow. I highly have to commend our Governor Baker, and our Mayor Walsh. They are two level-headed, intelligent men. They are following the science, and we now are in a shelter at home. Not a shelter at home, at a stay at home advisory. And our mayor just said on this morning, we were supposed to get some relief on next week, Monday, May the 4th, but he doesn't think that we are ready yet. And so they have asked us to stay at home. We are been asked to wear masks and gloves when we leave, and just to go out and take care of what is necessary and then come back home. So I'm really appreciative. Governor Baker said yesterday that he thinks that we are now coming down from our peak.
Well, I want to commend you also, because I've seen on Facebook Live where your church had feeding people.
Yes, sir.
giving away food to people, and I applaud and commend you highly for the effort that you have done. I've seen your work that you went over into various parts of Africa, taking food over, taking clothing over, and you're doing it both domestically and you're doing it here within the United States in your own community. So I highly commend you. Um, you all forgive me. Her dad, I call Pop. Pop Week's got to be extremely proud. Him and Mom got to be extremely proud of what they put inside you to go forth to be able to help the least of us. And I see the picture of Pop right behind you. He was a great man of wisdom. Loved that old man. Loved him. He was a tremendous man of wisdom and help. But Bishop Rodges, what about your governor? He's not apparently as intelligent, or I shouldn't say that, or caring as the governor of Massachusetts and others.
I tell you, sir, it is certainly an anomaly to all of us to try to figure out what it is that made him believe that it was safe for us to do such a thing when there's not random tests that's being done all over. So we're very concerned about it. As a matter of fact, if we look at some of the cases, one of the past friends of ours in Albany had about 200 deaths that was there. So, and the pastor that I called, he was talking to him, he had deaths in his church. So, of members of his church, rather, that died from the COVID. So, what we're having is we're having a disagreement. And but one of the great things that I have found in this period of time is that cities have the power to say themselves what they're going to do. And our mayor here in Savannah is still asking us to stay in. And he's stressing the fact that that is important. He's called pastors have been listening to him. Of course, I've been listening to him. And even in our state, Bishop, our diocesan Bishop Joseph Guthrie
Yes,
made a call to us and talked to me and some of the others about this idea of and he sent a letter out to suggest to the pastors not to open up their churches,
right,
because especially with the fact that we see the great disparity of death that's happening with the Afro-American communities and getting the COVID-19. So we all agree with him, and I want to commend him for his courage of trying to get the message out to us here, the pastors in the state of Georgia, to say, regardless of what you're hearing, stay safe, stay safe. And that's what we all have been giving out to our parishioners. As a matter of fact, we have the power to open up our churches, but I'm not opening up any of our churches, and I'm making it clear that we're not going in that direction. We're waiting for things to be made better, and we want
amen,
people to be safe. One death is important to us. One life is
right,
important to us. We don't want anybody to come to church and say they got sick at the church, and even if they can't prove it, you know, uh,
right,
uh, I'm seeing too many people, and so our governors, our mayors are standing tall and they are speaking loudly. Yeah, our mayor was on CNN, and he has been speaking loudly about his stand, and we have been respecting that, and I'm quite proud of him. He's doing an excellent job trying to help us to be safe. And then you look at the wonderful mayor in the city of Atlanta.
right,
My Lord,
yes,
standing strong.
yeah,
Bishop, I got to say this. I don't know whether you notice it or not, but I'm glad that we have been able to make some strides, because if you look across this country today, the mayor of New Orleans, a female, the mayor of Atlanta, a female. This morning,
yes,
the mayor of DC, female.
Right.
And I'm noticing, wow, what a great change of events in our world. There's a shift taking place where people are looking for leadership. They're not looking at gender. They're looking for leadership. If somebody can lead, they are willing to follow. And, I'm just grateful, sir, for the many great things that we're coming out as, because I never thought that there could be so much freedom from governors. From the governor can make a decision about what he's going to do in his own state, as well as the mayors in the city. I think we're learning more about our Constitution of America than we've ever had before.
Well, we have great leaders around the country, and great leaders within the body. Again, I reiterated what Bishop Weeks is doing, Bishop Mona Reed is doing. These great women of God are doing some phenomenal things to help move the body along. And so we just need to continue to do. I applaud you both, and I thank you both for your service to the Pentecost Assemblies of the world, and helping that we can have this to become, we always say we're the oldest. I'm not concerned about being the oldest. I want to be one of the ones that are the most progressive, and one of the ones that are striving to be a blessing to the people of God. They're making sure our people are safe and healthy. So all that are listening, we're going to come down with some specific guidelines very shortly on when do you open, how do you open, and the way that you open. What Bishop Weeks has said, and you said, put the mask on when you go outside, wear your gloves.
Yes, sir.
Bishop, continue feeding them in Boston. Yeah, there you go. I left mine upstairs. Now, I'm in my house right now, so I'm good. You got your wipe and everything. You gotta have it. You gotta protect ourselves and protect our children, and so that we can move forward. Again, those of you that want to be a blessing to not only these two individuals who are doing a great work in that foreign fields, you can make your check out to Pentecost Assembly of the World, put in parentheses, either the Northern Philippines or Eastern Cape Town, Port Elizabeth Council. And we'll make sure that it goes to them and the effort that they are doing. They are spending literally thousands and thousands and thousands of their own money to go overseas and to do the work. They're not complaining. They're not getting squirmish about it. They're doing what they're doing. And I've seen it. I recognize it. And I applaud them and others who are working in the international field to make sure that the Pentecost Assembly of the World is known worldwide. Now, we're getting ready to go off, but I got one final thing that I'm getting ready to share with you all. Thursday. Somebody say Thursday.
Thursday.
At 11:30. Friday is National Prayer Day. But I decided that we're going to do Thursday at 11:30 to 12:30 our national prayer. We're going to be on Facebook Live, PAW Live, and we're going to do a national prayer. So we have some of our intercessors who are going to be on with us. We're going to be praying for just 1 hour. And after that, I have an EBC meeting, and we're going to be coming back to you all, the board members, in a couple of weeks with just where we're at, what we've been doing, how we've been doing. I've been meeting every week with them. So Thursday, we're going to be on tomorrow. I'm going to be on tomorrow. Facebook Live, my own Facebook Live. Then be back here Friday again on Facebook Live. But Thursday, we're going to be on the PAW page. We're going to be doing, intercessors are going to be coming on with me, and we're going to be praying. They're going to be praying for just 1 hour, lifting up the name of the Lord and giving God some praise. Again, thank you, Bishop Rodges, Bishop Weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop.
Keep up the good work. Let's expand it. Those of you that are watching in, listen, join us every time we come on, because we're concerned about you. We want to make sure that God keeps you safe. You do what you need to do. Put your mask on, wash your hands, have good care of yourself. We're going to come back again, and I'll be with you. Yes, sir.
Presida, can I say one thing about the giving part? One of the things the Bible says that sometimes we lose the thought of it. It says that he that lendeth to the poor
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
lend it to the Lord. And he says, and he will repay. So whatever we do for poor churches, poor dioceses, poor people in these dioceses, whenever we give to the poor, whether it's in our cities, whether it's in our towns, whatever we give to the poor, the Bible says, God says, we are lending to the Lord. Now, that's a major thought, to think that you're loaning money to God. And God says you're loaning to him. So, and God is saying, don't expect the poor to pay it back. God says, I'm good for that one.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
going
take
to pay that debt for it.
That's great. That's a great one. I would tell you, we don't know how blessed we are. I was in Brazil for 17 years, going back and forth to Brazil to Dawson for the last 8 years. While I was over there, 8 or 9 years. We don't know how blessed we are in the United States until we go somewhere else.
Yes.
And when you go out there, and I didn't know what poor was. I didn't know what poor was till I got over there. When I got over there and I saw how they were living, and they took me to churches, and I was like, where we going? Where y'all taking me? And we were at one church. It was a good sized church, but it was in such an area, just like where you're at, Bishop Weeks, where the drug dealers had control, and they had respected the pastor so much, they gave him so much time in order to have service. So at 10 o'clock, everybody had to be in the house, or they were subject to whatever that the gangs wanted to do. And so I had to preach, and they put me in the cars real quick and said, we got to go. The pastor said, go, 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 get out. Hurry, hurry, hurry. You got 5 minutes. And we were zooming, and it was so eerie. The streets were quiet. Nobody was on the street. And I was just like, wow. And the pastor there told me, he said, Bishop, they're not playing. So we don't know how blessed we really are. And I commend you too, and others, because we're in 37 countries. I commend you all for taking on that responsibility to do that. It might sound easy, but you all have proven that you not only put your money where your passion and where your desire was, but you're doing it and you're keeping it going. I just thank God for you. I thank God for you all. Yes, Bishop.
I just say this, that we are the Pentecostal assemblies of the world.
Thank you.
Not of the United States.
Absolutely.
Of the world.
Well, that's why
I commend Bishop Rodges and all of the bishops that are international bishops. But I thank God for us, but it's the people on the ground. It's Bishop Rodges' pastors. It's the pastors of the 64th Episcopal Diocese, Apostle Sergio, Pastor Jason, Pastor Peter, that is really doing the work. So I just want to say to all of the Pentecostal assemblies of the world, constituents, thank you for sowing your seed. Thank you for loaning to the Lord right now. We appreciate it, and we promise you this, not one dime is going in our pockets.
Hey, God, I know that.
Not one dime is going for administration. Everything that you send, we are going to send over to Port Elizabeth. I promise you that.
I can attest to that, because they both do. I have watched them take from their churches and give. So we're happy. Evangelist Nietzsche, you back with us? You're going to join us? You close out here?
Yes. I'm just sharing a reminder to everyone about the 2020 commentary, about your Sunday school materials that you can call the headquarters 317-547-9541 by tomorrow. If there's no changes to your order, then it'll just ship like normal. But if there are any changes, you'll definitely want to give the PAW headquarters a call, 317-547-9541. And then the May, June issue of the Christian Outlook, all those things can be ordered via the phone number or through pawinc.eStore. It was an amazing conversation today, Bishop.
All right. And we're going to be on Thursday. Thursday is going to be awesome.
I'm excited about that.
We're not going to be talking Not going to be. We're going to be praying, a virtual prayer, and we ask you to just tell everybody, join us. This is going to be epic. This is going to be. I mean, this is going to be awesome, and I'm just so grateful. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I thank God for you. I don't mean you guys. I'm sorry. We say that. I love you, people of God. You are just great. You're wonderful, marvelous. I'm humbled and awed by God that He would have me be your humble servant. I thank you all. Thank you all for God blessing us. Nietzsche, thank you, daughter. You and the staff there. Oh, I love you guys. You guys are great.
Love
Hey,
you,
good
Bishop.
people of God, be blessed of the Lord. Be safe. Be careful. Make sure you do that. That's right and honorable. And when the Lord lets us loose, man, we're going to have church. We're going to have church. Yes, we are. Oh, I forgot. I want to keep on telling you this because we don't know. The gathering is coming up in October. The last week of October, the gathering is going to be in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus will never be the same. If they let us in that city, we will not be the same. Amen. God bless you. Nietzsche, take care, my dear. Be blessed of the Lord. Love you all.
All right. God bless you, Bishop.
God bless.